New videos every day.
Now let's talk about play. Play. Now this you don't usually see in a health book, all right? But play is very, very important. There was let me read something to you. This was by a woman by the name of May Sarton. And this is a quote from her. Each day and the living of it has to be a conscious creation in which discipline and order are relieved with some play and pure foolishness. Right on, you know? I got to a point in my life, you know, there's so many things that I do in my life. And I'm very, very busy and very on task most of the time. And I got to a point not long ago where I said to some of my friends, I said, you know what? Somewhere along the line, I stopped laughing. I want to laugh more. I used to laugh a lot when I was, you know, young and growing up, and we did crazy things. And I had a great sense of humor, and we would just do the most foolish and silly things, not dangerously foolish, but just crazy things that were just pure fun. They had no rhyme or reason. They had no logic to them. They were just silliness. And silliness actually changes our brain chemistry. It actually helps bring endorphins, serotonin, etc. Laughter is, I mean, I'm sure you've heard it. You heard about the guy who cured himself of cancer because he found out he had cancer and he went home, locked himself in his room, and basically played nothing but comedy movies, you know, for days and weeks on end, and he actually cured himself of cancer. Laughter is incredibly important for our health and well-being. So I want to talk to you about how do you play? Do you play? Do you take life too serious? And where do you get that relief during your day? Let me read you something else. This is by Gary Chick. He's a Ph.D. in Pennsylvania State University. He says playfulness has been replaced by aggressiveness and the feeling that more needs to be crammed into less time. You know, man, this is so true. I mean, our days just, I mean, where does the time go when we've got all of these things? Again, I mentioned last time, we've got 600 billion different bits of database going into our brains on a daily basis. We are inundated with so much thought and so much, most of it's stressful concepts, you know, and it's driven by the media, which certainly drives us in the direction of fear because it's all a selling game, you know. So if they can put you in a place of, you know, take your life serious and, you know, things in the world are serious and need to be addressed. This is nothing but, you know, not only belief systems, but high stress that causes us to constantly be in the running like a hamster in a cage, making sure that we, you know, live our lives. But if we're not playing, what good is our life? So here's another study that was shown, and this was shown at this university. Studies have shown that play and recreational therapy interventions addresses restoration of physical and or cognitive functions. Ongoing health maintenance and self-management, prevention, community functioning, and integration of psychosocial well-being. Well, that's a whole mouthful, but what does that mean? It means that basically our health relies on a balance. It relies on a balance of work and then no work. You know, there are some cultures, and they've been actually criticized. The Italian culture, for one, the Latin culture, and other cultures like that. Basically, there are towns in Italy where the entire community stops at the end of the day and they basically sit in the square and they drink wine and they talk about the day and they laugh. All right? And we don't do that anymore. I mean, you know, nowadays we've got things like happy hour, right? Where we basically all get together, and most of the time, you know, we spend a short period of time getting drunk and escaping, but not really getting into just playfulness, things that are uplifting, things that are nonsensical but joyful, So we know that this takes its physical toll when we take our life so serious, when we can't monkey around. And the ones you'll notice, the children that are in school that are the class clowns, so to speak, and whatever, we're so busy trying to maintain them. And now we're drugging them with all kinds of antidepressants and all kinds of amphetamines and whatever, so they sit in their little quiet space and not disrupt the class. But those class clowns, and I was one of them, I definitely was, there's something that we can learn from those people, because you know what? They're bucking the system. They're not going to be suppressed and held down. There's energy and there's joy, and they're basically laughing in the face of their teachers or institutions that want to control them and hold them down, and basically saying, I'm not going to play by your rules. Life is more fun than that. And if life isn't fun, forget about it. It's not worth living. Okay, so how do you have fun? A lot of people, they sit down in front of a video game nowadays. Now, some of that is fun, but some of it is really anti-productive. And it's play, but it's not really joyful play. But it's beyond just sitting in front of something. It's movement. It's silliness. It's, we don't even have, I understand that most schools, most grammar schools and whatever, they don't even have recess anymore. You remember when you were a kid? I mean, this is presumptuous because I'm talking to a whole bunch of you, but some of you in my age, when we were kids, we actually had recess. We actually had a time where we stopped everything, went outside, and just played, right? We played and just was out in the fresh air and played goofy games, but it was stress relieving. So what I want to do is I want to hear from you. How do you play? And if you don't play, why? Is it because you don't have time? Is it because life is too serious and you really just don't, you just can't fit that into your life? Is it that you don't know what to play? Some of us, have lost our imagination as we gotten older, So I want to hear from you. Give me your comments. Give me your feedback on how do you play and how can we play more? And how can we play collectively as a society, as a neighborhood, as a community, as a family? I want to hear feedback. Give me some ideas of how you stress relief. And if you can't, I want to hear that too. So make your comments. If you want to know more about me and what I do, visit my website, advancedhealthinstitute.com. I have articles on my website. Feel free to peruse them, and some of them are about what we're talking about with this book. Foundations of a Lifetime Wellness, Part 1 and 2 is basically the outline of the book. So help me out. I want to help you out. I want to meet some of your challenges and some of my challenges. Let's see if we can't just talk about foundations of a lifetime of wellness. So I welcome your feedback. If you have not subscribed, push the yellow button and subscribe. Get on there and make your comments, and I'll get back to you. I'm Radhia Gleis. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
There are over 350 videos on our channel, and I doubt you've seen them all. And the topics range from weight loss, nutrition, sexual health, all the way to psychology and mind control, and anywhere in between. And I think if you check them out, you're going to find some really interesting stuff.